This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, see how students are carving their way through the winter months.
Find out what happens when an abortion activist stops at MSUM.
Find out how one MSUM club team has dreams of being sponsored.
But first, see how the coronavirus is affecting international students at MSUM. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Shaylee Espeseth.
And I'm Alex Larson. In the past few weeks, conversations about an emerging virus have grown more and more prevalent worldwide. Although the reports of the coronavirus appeared first in China, the effects can be felt even here on MSUM's campus.
Reporter Geneva Nodland spoke with MSUM students who have family and friends in East Asia.
Whether on the news, social media, or in conversations, every day updates and reports can be found on the coronavirus.
The news is all about coronavirus right now.
International exchange student at MSUM, Nanami Otsuka, is from Japan. She says she doesn't have any family or friends directly affected by the virus, but does worry about the future.
And I'm actually nervous about going back too because I'm graduating this semester and I'm planning to go home.
Hiro Suzuki is a Japanese student at MSUM, but he grew up in China and has family there. Just last month, Hiro's mother almost dealt with Nanami's fear.
My mom almost got stuck because I remember U.S. stopped stopped the flight to China at a certain point. I don't remember when.
Hiro explained that his mom visited their family in China for the Lunar New Year, just as many other families did.
And this happened right before the Lunar Year, so it actually really affected a lot of families a lot because some people cannot go into Wuhan, or the people in Wuhan cannot go back to their home, a hometown.
It has been over 2 years since Hiro has seen his family in China.
I was actually in the middle of booking the ticket.
And now, as updates on the virus continue, he wonders when he will see them next. With photographer Ben Podratz, Geneva Nodland, Campus News.
Hiro told Campus News that his mother explained just how dire the need for antiviral masks are at this time. Countries like Japan, Turkey, and more have donated medical supplies like masks to China. Colby College in Maine isn't taking any chances when it comes to its students' health. Several students who returned from China are being quarantined at a hotel as a precaution against the coronavirus. The Maine Center for Disease Control says it was not consulted before the decision was made and is now giving guidance to Colby College. According to the CDC, none of the students show any symptoms of the virus. The school says it's following public health guidelines requiring students to stay at the hotel for 14 days before they are allowed back on campus.
This year, health services at MSU Moorhead have shifted their focus on mental health, and that's been an adjustment for students and staff. The change happened in July when MSUM shut down the medical lab and pharmacy on campus due to budgeting cuts. Hendricks Health is now MSUM Counseling Services. Director Angela Ballinger says more students are taking advantage of the new focus.
Our mental health services has really increased. Last semester, each provider on an average seen 58 students.
MSUM Health Services offer free counseling to students. Abortion has been a hot topic in today's political discussions and will continue to be in the 2020 election. Reporter Jacob Ambrose brings us to the Comstock Memorial Union, where abortion was the subject at hand.
How many of you know anything about the abortion restrictions in Minnesota?
At Minnesota State University Moorhead, community members gathered to talk about abortion laws in Minnesota. The event was put on by a nonprofit organization called Unrestrict MN, who calls for less abortion restraints by state lawmakers. Brianne Howerton from Unrestrict MN has one goal in mind when leading these conversations.
I just really think that every person should get to decide when and if they become a parent, and that bodily autonomy is a human right.
There are currently 5 abortion clinics in Minnesota, and none of them are on the west half of the state. Howerton wants easier access.
Yeah, I wish that you could get an abortion at your general care physician.
It seemed like most of the audience agreed with Howerton. That is, until Cone Mojak showed up.
I think it hurts a lot, to be a father and to expect a baby and not get the baby because, say, the mother decided to kill the baby.
I don't care what your personal feelings about abortions are. I just want people who decide to have an abortion to feel safe in that decision and to have access to that.
Cohn immigrated to the U.S. from South Sudan in 1998. He says he wants to make a positive impact in the FM area.
I'm not anti-abortion. I am actually a leader in the community who cares about young people making the right decision.
He thinks that more men need to be a part of the abortion discussion.
You know, I think more men need to start caring about some of the stuff that are being said. And I think it's good to have this conversation on campus, but, you know, other perspectives need to be here. They need to be added.
And how conversations go with people who disagree with Howerton?
I don't want to debate what my rights are. I know what they are.
With photographer Nora Vitale, Jacob Ambrose, Campus News.
There are around 10,000 abortions performed in Minnesota each year.
The Women's Center at MSUM hosts monthly events to engage the campus, including a rotating cast of women scholars, educators, and activists. The semester's first guest was reproductive rights activist Tibby Ray Hinderly. She is the president of the group Women in Need of an Abortion Access Fund. The WIN Fund provides grants to women seeking abortions who may need financial help. Aside from grants, the fund also finances STI testing, pregnancy tests, and birth control.
Today, the goal is just to let people know that we're here. If you want to help volunteer, if you want to donate, if you need help with an abortion, sometimes people don't know who to ask for help. You can ask for WIN Fund funding.
The next colloquium in the Women's Center features Jane Swift, a scholar and activist for workers' rights. The college admissions scandal that shocked the nation last spring is handing out its harshest penalty yet. Former PIMCO CEO Douglas Hodge was given a 9-month prison sentence for his role in the admissions bribery. He will also face 500 hours of community service and a $750,000 fine. Hodge admitted to paying $850,000 in bribes to get 4 of his children into elite universities such as USC and Georgetown. 15 parents, including actress Lori Loughlin, have pleaded not guilty and are awaiting trials later this year. While many universities are becoming gun-free zones, 2 Tennessee lawmakers are proposing a bill allowing college students to carry a concealed handgun on public campuses. The bill follows a measure which allows full-time faculty, staff, and other employees to carry guns on campus. Some students at Middle Tennessee State University are on the fence about the bill, questioning their safety if the concealed weapons end up in the wrong hands. If the bill passes, Tennessee will be among about a dozen states allowing students to carry weapons on campus. Writing intensive classes are a graduation requirement at MSUM.
Reporter Marissa Shyok was surprised to learn that many students are in favor.
Writing intensive classes at MSUM are relatively new, with the policy going into effect in the fall of 2016. These courses are designed to improve the writing skills of every student, not just the skills of those that have writing-focused majors.
Mostly because my major, I am an audio engineering major, and it is very intensive, and we don't do a lot of writing because it is very hands-on.
Because Cartwright doesn't write very often in her major, she enjoys that the writing-intensive courses give her a chance to express herself.
There was always a bit of me that's always been a writer, and just getting back in touch with that, especially like the creative writing, it is nice to just go back to basics.
And getting back to the basics is exactly what Carrie Schiefelbein helps students do.
I love my coworkers.
She works at the Writing Center on MSUM's campus and uses her knowledge to help her peers.
We definitely have a lot of students come in writing intensive courses who are just, a little unsure.
Although some students say that they don't like or need writing intensive classes, there is an argument in favor.
Every single profession is going to need some sort of written communication. Everyone needs writing skills.
Even though there are reasons as to why some students don't like the writing intensive requirements, they do have a benefit for students, not only to help their writing skills, but to allow students to be creative as well. With photographer Phil Melro, Marissa Shyok, Campus News.
MSUM students are required to take 4 writing-intensive classes to graduate. Students at the University of Minnesota are dealing with a relatively new form of classified anxiety, eco-anxiety. Eco-anxiety describes a feeling of distress or anxiousness related to environmental change. A 2019 poll done by the Washington Post Kaiser Family Foundation found that more than half of American teenagers feel scared about climate change. While for some, anxiety can be debilitating, other students are channeling their anxiety into activism by participating in a campus chapter of Minnesota Youth Climate Strike. 5 Minnesota Iron Range colleges will soon turn into 1 as student enrollment continues to decline. The schools involved are Mesabi Range College, Vermilion, Rainy River, Itasca, and Hibbing Community Colleges. Officials say the merge will strengthen the campuses by reducing the overlapping services. Officials say the schools have lost about 1/3 of their enrollment in less than a decade. They say although they work together, they've still operated independently and compete for students. Enrollment at the 5 colleges is equivalent to about 2,900 full-time students.
One thing that helps build a community is generosity, and no event demonstrates that more than when students volunteered by packing meals for hungry children. Reporter Nancy Womboy tells us more.
Hairnets on, hands washed, and zeal. This is how the next generation is solving world hunger. 962 middle and high school students filled Shields Arena in Fargo to support Feed My Starving Children, a nonprofit with the goal of packing 2 million meals. With every serving and helping, these students are working hard to meet that goal.
I'm here at Feed My Starving Children helping to scoop the rice, and I think it's a really cool opportunity to be able to help those who are less fortunate be able to have healthy meals.
For those wondering how this works, first, they scoop rice. Then, they pour in soy, add in veggies, and seal the bag. CEO Mark Crea credits his faith as a special ingredient that makes this monumental effort possible.
I read the Bible. Okay. Do you know in there, what does it say? We may not look the same, but you and I are brothers and sisters. And that's how simple that is, to say, what would you do for your brother or sister? You would help them.
So we're gonna... Back on the arena floor, these volunteers are enthusiastic. Even this group has a chant.
If you like packing boxes, clap your hands.
Asked what their takeaway from the experience is, students say it's a wonderful service opportunity.
Come do it if you get ever a chance to do it. I recommend it a lot because it's really wholesome and a lot of fun to do, and you feel great after.
On this day, the students packed 913 boxes of food, which will be able to feed 540 children 1 meal a day for a year. With photographer Kylie Chapman, Nancy Womboy, Campus News.
Feed My Starving Children will host another mobile pack next year. The organization is also accepting donations. A new service that delivers items to NDSU students is trying to promote healthy lifestyles. It's called Junk Mail. Junk Mail delivers products that promote safe sex directly to students in discreet paper bags. Students can order anything from condoms, lubrications, and educational information on safe sex.
So we're just noticing that it's not so much of a taboo, and for some who do choose to engage in this behavior in a consensual way, it's a great way for them to get the supplies and to do so and to be protected.
Students who want to apply for the program can do so on Junk Mail's Student Health Service website. Stories are coming to life through ink at California State University, Los Angeles. The work of one of the most well-known and well-represented artists in the tattoo community is on display. It tells the story of artist Richard Vasic, who escaped the streets to find success in body art. Many of the students who attend the exhibit wear tattoos from the artist on their own bodies. Vasic uses his Asian American heritage to design meaningful tattoos that share a story. The exhibit is open through March 23rd. A new style of disco came to MSUM, and it's not one that would be expected.
It's not even one that can be heard. Reporter Jenna Scott has the story.
It is called a silent disco, where dancers wear headphones with music playing as part of an effort to raise awareness about the American Sign Language community.
There are a couple of individuals who are fluent in ASL here tonight, so if anyone is interested in learning like how to sign their name or sign some basic ASL, just to help build or bridge the gap between hearing people in the deaf community.
They could listen to music performed by 2 different DJs. Students from all over campus came to the event to see what it was all about.
I was like, oh my gosh, we should have a silent disco, and then I saw it and I was like, it's Kismet. I feel like I'm at a rave.
As the night went on, more people came in to enjoy the unique experience. They had a mixture of both old and new hits to listen to.
Songs I started dancing to was Hot Shower by Chance the Rapper, and that's like one of those I mean, it's not like super new, but it's like one of those newer songs that's like in the mix is cool.
Overall, the night was a great way to bring awareness to the ASL community. With photographer John Hayes, Jenna Scott, Campus News.
The next event hosted by Dragon Entertainment Group will be a painting and planting workshop. Lincoln College in Illinois is sharing excitement over its new solar power project. It's estimated to save the college over $100,000 per year and to power 40% of its total energy needs. The project will also be providing live energy information to its science and technology classes. The solar power panels are expected to be up and running by next month. Local high school students came over to MSUM to put their science knowledge to the test at the annual Science Olympiad. At the end of the day, students were awarded prizes in topics like anatomy, physiology, and fossil research. The Science Olympiad featured tests and experiments for students to participate in solo or as a group. Junior Lila Stanley was a 3-time medalist at the event.
The team was great support, and it wasn't just me, it was my partners in every single event really helped me to the finish.
Stanley's team took first in the team sweepstakes. The students say they are excited to come back next year. Students at Lake Superior College in Duluth help give kids a healthier smile at their annual dental event. Give Kids a Smile Day is a free dental care program hosted by the Minnesota Dental Association. It gives kids 18 and younger a free dental care check, select services at the clinic on campus. Volunteer hygienists and students from Lake Region College make the event possible. They say it brings in around 50 to 60 kids a year. Give Kids a Smile is hosted at clinics all over Minnesota every year. We may still be in the dead of winter, and most people would like to just stay inside to avoid the snow and cold.
But one group of artists from MSUM are dealing with the snow in a more creative way. Here's the story from reporter Jenna Scott. For these MSUM students, snow is a great medium for sculptures. At Viking Park in Moorhead, teams and individuals spent all week creating unique sculptures out of snow that spread out across the park.
I got invited to be part of the sculpting, or Brad Bachmeyer kind of got the team together. He's a professor from MSUM.
Besides it being a contest as part of the Fargo Moorhead Frostival, most were creating sculptures for fun. But for MSUM senior Katie Aslison, her team's design was far more than just a sculpture.
An ice cream cone because of we wanted to do kind of like a Moorhead pride kind of thing, and whenever I think of Moorhead, I think of DQ.
The Moorhead Dairy Queen has been around for decades, and what better way to represent it than an ice cream cone made from snow and ice?
Well, I was born and raised in Fargo Moorhead, so I mean, I've gone there several times just throughout my childhood, and I know that it's a place that lots of people in our community like to go to, and I thought it would be kind of funny and ironic to do it made out of snow, because you know, you don't really enjoy ice cream when it's cold out.
These sculptures take hours of work, but the end result is timeless.
The right side looks perfect.
Jenna Scott, Campus News. The Frostival will be running until February 22nd. And now we turn it over to Jordan Austin for a look at this week's sports.
Yeah, and I heard you've got a pretty good variety for us this week.
We sure do, and we'll start with one swimmer from MSUM who's been making a splash for 4 years, and she came a long way to get here. Reporter Jacob Tenson takes a dive into the pool to find out her story.
Growing up in hot Brazil, Letty Rodovallo was bound to find her way into the pool at a young age.
My aunt got a swimming pool in her backyard, and then we just kind of went there for fun, and my mom was like, oh, I should put you in swimming lessons.
Other swimmers from Brazil inspired and motivated Letty. Enough so, she made her way to the U.S.
like the beginning of my sophomore year, I met some people that came like from Brazil to the US to swim and got like a swimming scholarship. So I was like, oh, this sounds interesting.
Brazil and the US have different mindsets when it comes to swimming.
In swimming, in Brazil, we take a lot as more like as an individual sport, whereas like here, I feel like we're more like a team, actually a team, even though it's still like individual sport.
Letty felt as though she was part of a family when she joined the MSUM swim team.
I really liked the size of the school, and then I also thought the swimming team here would be like a good team for me.
Like most people foreign to the frozen tundra, the weather and being away from family is a hard thing to adjust to.
I guess like I missed hanging out with them, you know, because I mean I talk to my parents literally every day, but it's just different like when you're actually there. And just, I guess my mom cooking for me, and that was really nice. I wish I could have more of that.
Since Letty has came over to the US, she has made a lot of new friendships and enjoys practices. She also says that the best part of swimming is that you don't have to worry about sweating. With photographers Justin Howe and Joe Keller, I'm Jacob Tenson, Campus News Sports.
Letty is also one of 37 student athletes from MSUM to win an NSIC All-Academic Team Award for fall sports. MSUM is not only succeeding on the court, in the pool, and on the field, but in the classroom as well. 37 MSUM athletes were named to the All-Academic Team for the fall season. Athletes from the soccer, football, volleyball, and the men's and women's cross-country team were among those honored with this award.
We're in athletics. I'm always excited, but then I was like, oh, we could have got more. But we feel really good about that number. We pay attention to how many student athletes get their recognition from the Northern Sun. So it's fun to see our student athletes get recognized for their work in the classroom.
An athlete must have a cumulative 3.2 GPA and be in their second academic year to receive this award. A former Wake Forest University assistant basketball coach has been found guilty of throwing a punch that killed a man in New York City. Jamil Jones fatally punched 35-year-old Sandor Szabo in August of 2018. Authorities say Szabo may have been drunk when he pounded on Jones's car window. Jones got out, punched him, and sped off. He went to the police himself to be turned in. He was released that night and ordered to return to court on October 2nd. Reporters say Jones showed no emotion when the verdict was read. He faces up to 1 year in prison after next month's sentencing. The College of St. Mary in Omaha is taking a step closer to a new $18 million athletic complex. City leaders just approved a zoning change for the site. The college plans to fund the project with donations. The complex will include 200-meter indoor track, basketball and volleyball courts, batting tunnels for softball, a fitness area, locker rooms, and a meeting space. St. Mary's is primarily a women's college with some graduate programs open for men. The college is hoping to begin construction this spring. A new club team on campus is looking to skate its way to the strong end of a season. As Damian O'Donnell tells us, the new team is giving hockey lovers a chance to continue playing in the state of hockey.
The MSUM club hockey team is having a blast in just their second year as a club. Though there have been ups and downs this season, the competition is not the only reason people join this club. For some players, like Connor Hedblum, this Dragon team means more.
You just feel connected with everyone else that is on the ice, and you feel a sense of camaraderie that just comes through nothing else.
While these hockey players enjoy their time on the club team, it's because of the lack of collegiate teams in the area that club president Mikey Hoschek decided to create the club a year ago. He believes this is a growth period for the club and sees a bright future on the horizon.
It's a baby step this year, and hopefully next year we're going to have some good recruits coming in and looking to build off this year.
Despite Fargo-Moorhead being a winter-based area, Jacob Stewart says it takes more than the weather to get a program up and running.
I truly think that there's no hockey team here because of a money aspect.
Regardless of them being a club team, MSUM is ready to put it all on the line for each other and show what Dragon hockey means to them. With photographer Dominique Trowbridge, I'm Damian O'Donnell, Campus News Sports.
The MSUM club hockey team practices and plays at the Moorhead High School, but hopes to one day have a stadium of their own on campus. For the first time in 30 years, Colorado College is showing off a new logo. It had the characteristics of the old logo with a fierce tiger and shield. They unveiled the new logo against St. Cloud State. The new logo is part of the bigger branding scheme to promote the team's new on-campus hockey arena. The schools worked with alumni, students, faculty, and staff to select the final logo at a summer retreat. and they're hoping this one stays around for just as long.
All right, thanks, Jordan. It sounds like Colorado College is going to have a few new t-shirts to design.
In the dead of winter, students on campus can find some comfort food that reminds them of home.
MSUM students got to check out some of the best at the Dragon Frost Mac and Cheese Bar.
Broccoli or hot dogs?
Hot dog.
Okay.
Royalty served up the perfect recipe to cure the winter blues. Macaroni and cheese.
No problem. Enjoy.
According to MSUM's website, Dragon Frost is a week full of events for students to have fun and chase away the winter blahs. And what better way to do that than with a mac and cheese bar?
Dude, check out. I'm being healthy with my broccoli.
The mac and cheese was made by Sodexo, and students had options as to what they could top it with, ranging from bacon bits to broccoli.
There you go.
So gooey and so cheesy. And then when you like put it with the broccoli, it's kind of healthy, and then it's good.
Mac and cheese we've done for the last few years, and people really seem to like it, which everybody loves free mac and cheese.
Students were not only attending the mac and cheese bar for the food, some were there to show support. Members of MSUM's Dragon Frost Snow Court helped serve up the mac and cheese. For one candidate, being on Frost Court is about more than serving up mac and cheese.
It's been so much fun. I was really honored when I was interviewed and nominated for it, and it's a really fun thing. I really like to represent the university. I love it so much.
Serving their fellow students and eating mac and cheese makes for a good afternoon. With photographer Ayanna Taylor, Katie Betts, Campus News.
It's so cheesy.
Lauren LaForce was crowned royalty at MSUM's Battle of the Bands. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at the silent disco.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.